English translation 35th contact. Tuesday, 16th September 1975. AO914 HR's thought transmission contact.
Unexpectedly, I have to contact you and interrupt the current report of your trip again. But the matter I have to explain to you is of great importance. You shall once again interfere in earthly events and exercise your powers, for things are happening which are of decisive importance with regard to the standing of the reality of all extraterrestrial life forms. The world domination-addicted intelligences of Giza are preparing a very malicious crime to harm various other intelligences they dislike and question their credibility. In recent times, they have made great efforts to influence terrestrial humans in sectarian form in order to commit, in this form, an unusually malicious crime against human life, whereby the existence of extraterrestrials is to be made impossible and ridiculous, but whereby, on the other hand, their madness of religion for the purpose of their world domination addiction is to find new breeding ground for them. Here is the thing now. For some time now, a couple of Earthlings in particular have been under the evil influence of the Giza intelligences in order to initiate criminal and degrading things in their evil sense. The purpose of these machinations is to mislead Earthlings in larger masses with the lying instruction that the Earth will no longer be habitable in about a decade. According to this assertion of lies, the Earth humans would therefore die en masse and everything would fall prey to death. However, it is not given that all terrestrial humans must die, why a rescue by extraterrestrials is intended. Willing persons would therefore be picked up by extraterrestrial intelligences by a spaceship and brought to another, better and more beautiful world where they would have a free and better life. This has already been announced through billboards and other advertising. Also, a meeting serving this evil cause was already held last Sunday, 14th September 1975, declaration of 16th September 1975, to get hold of the willing. That is what happened in America in a place called Waldport. The interested people were told at this meeting that from now on they could go to a camp where they would be prepared for the alleged flight into space in order to cope with the complaints of spaceflight, but also to gather the necessary knowledge of the new life on the pretended other and better world and to adapt to the new life. The only condition for this resettlement undertaking was that all earthly goods be sold or otherwise disposed of, and that no children be taken along. Unfortunately, there was more willingness for this evil enterprise than could be calculated. In haste, many of the interested followed and chased after the lures of the advertisers to await in said camp for the things which were supposed to come. The further consequences of this well-considered criminal enterprise are absolutely clear to us, and there are various prospects for the misguided. 1. The whole enterprise is to be disguised in a religious form, in the form of a new sectarianism, whereby all the willing are to be deceived and misled in order not to grasp the real background. 2. Weak and otherwise unfit persons shall be gradually separated and murdered. 3. Several of those found to be fit are to be slavishly forced, as work robots on Earth, to perform frontline duties for the benefit of the Giza intelligences who need many earthly things, but which they do not want to acquire through their own work. 4. Several of those found to be fit are to be abducted and enslaved away from Earth. 5. Several should found a new sectarian organization and thus work on Earth in a religious form for the plans of the Giza intelligences. These 5 points were elaborated by the Giza intelligences and will be applied. However, the Earthlings advocating this plan are not aware of these facts because they live in an implanted delusion. Now, however, the Giza intelligences have ascertained that we are concerned about the matter, so they are looking for new ways in order to not let their undertaking fail. But there is the danger that the misguided ones will all be murdered, because for those addicted to world domination, the life of an Earth human is of absolute insignificance. We now instruct you to try to do things in your form and to try to avert the worst. We ourselves endeavor to disrupt the Giza intelligence themselves in their actions.
Girl, that is something. If the lads managed to do that, it would be a damn deep blow for the whole of ufology.
Sure, I am afraid you are absolutely right about that.
I want to do what I can. But can you tell me where this town is? What was it called?
Walled Port. This is a coastal village in the American state of Oregon.
I will find that on the map, then I will get onto it.
But try very hard because the danger is very great. If possible, we will help you. But we can only do that in a certain form because you know that we are not allowed to exercise coercion.
You repeat yourself. But you can be sure that I will do everything in my power.
Sure, I am convinced of that. Now, however, I would like to explain to you that you will no longer write down such requests to yourself in the future. If we give you other such tasks, then these messages are no longer intended for the knowledge of the public.
As you wish. Somehow I also prefer it that way, because otherwise I will be accused of lying in the end.
Sure, that is unfortunately the case, and that is exactly why I just ordered it. In your own group, there have already been doubts about Patricia Hearst. That is so, even though you were not told. I checked these things and made that statement.
Never mind, Sim Yase. You had to expect that. But tell me, what about the Giza twerps? Asket once told me something about how they wanted to influence a person to make him believe that he had been in the pyramid and had seen the crucifixion utensils there. She told me that in 1956, but I have never heard of such an incident before. Did the Giza fellows not carry out this undertaking back then? If it were true, I should have heard something about it.
The deception maneuver has taken place, and the Giza intelligences have even succeeded very well. The deception took place with an American named Reinhold Schmidt, a grain buyer from California. But he was also misused for other things, so he was fooled into traveling to the Arctic with a spaceship and so on.
Aha, I have never heard of him, although I have now researched about 20 years later.
Now you know, and it is time for me to devote myself to other tasks again. In the next few weeks, make an effort to receive my reports from the trip. It is time to finish these quickly.
Will do, Sim Yase. Farewell.
Peace and love be with you.